satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 2. I know that you cannot tolerate those who are evil, and you have tested and exposed as liars those who falsely claim to be apostles. And Psalm chapter 5, verse 6. You destroy those who tell lies. The bloodthirsty and deceitful you, Lord, detest. Yeah, safe to say that if you're a liar, you're not going to make it very far in this life. And believe it or not, the same really does go for Democrats, because look at what's happening to them now. Especially the installed president of 2020, Joe Biden. Why am I bringing him up in this video? Because he decided to do one final act as the worst president in the history of the USA. One that, if I'm being honest here, really doesn't surprise me, because he's known for being a pathological liar to the point where it's as natural to him as breathing. I don't want to spoil too much of what we're going to report today, because it is some bombshell news for sure. Even though, like I said, it shouldn't surprise anyone, and we'll explain why here in a moment. We sincerely hope you enjoy, and with that being said, let's keep in mind a couple of things. 1. Joe Biden lied about graduating at the top of his class in university. He lied about people being happy about Hurricane Helene and how the government is handling it. And he lied in saying that nobody is above the law.
Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law. The American principle that no one is above the law was reaffirmed. The justice system should be respected, and we should never allow anyone to tear it down. Those responsible can be held accountable. In my administration, no one is above the law.
And you want to know who else stated that as well? Literally every single Democrat ever.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
Now make no mistake, CSO family, for once I actually do agree with the Democrats in saying that nobody is above the law. Cops shouldn't be given qualified immunity, judges should be able to be held accountable for their actions as well, same with prosecutors, all the same as regular everyday citizens like us. And the same goes for politicians as well, and their relatives. Which brings us to the hot topic of today's video, with Joe Biden attempting to say before that he would not pardon his son. Because nobody's above the law, right?
He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know, and I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Presidential promise to put the law before family.
I said I abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Letting the world know that he will not wipe away the decision of 12 of his son's peers.
Was asked directly, and he has said he wouldn't pardon his son if he gets convicted.
Let's wait and see what happens if he loses.
And yet we have news stories like this coming from the left and the right. What did Hunter Biden do, and what is a presidential pardon from BBC? President Biden pardons his son Hunter Biden from NBC News. 6 reasons why Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter from Time magazine. Biden isn't the first president to pardon a relative. Here's how the power works from NPR. And the list goes on and 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 on. That is right, CSO fam. You're not above the law unless you are Hunter Biden. And that right there is the final middle finger from Joe Biden himself for the 50 years he was in politics. He's given us so many reasons before as to why he should not be president, but if this right here doesn't confirm it for everybody, I simply don't know what will. Really think about this for a moment. If this were Donald Trump and one of his sons that were indicted on this, and Donald Trump were to pardon his son for this, how crazy do you think the left would go about that? And yet we have media sources on the left trying to justify this, giving reasons and excuses, quite frankly. Excuses are nothing but nails that build a house of failure, by the way, as to why Joe Biden pardoned his son. You know, for the illegal narcotics in the White House and things related to that nature. You know, I think this might just be the final nail in the coffin for the Democrat Party. I seriously don't understand how anyone can ever vote for them ever again. But who knows what'll happen in the future, maybe some kind of miracle. But with that being said, that's gonna do it for today's video, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Let us know in the comments if you did, and with that being said, CSO fam, don't forget to keep observing from a common sense perspective.